How you guys doing? It is 3:05 a.m. It is Thursday morning. I should be asleep right now. I should be asleep. That's right. I should be asleep. Can't sleep. Let me I've always been an always been a big fan of conspiracy theories. Always been a big fan. And there's been a lot over the years. A lot over the years. Some interesting, some fascinating, some again fascinating, some scary. Some that are scary. The reason is because if you have a theory and you do this and you talk about it, somebody might catch on to a theory, and with the figure that you might come close to you might come close to something that could really blow the whistle on solving a puzzle that somebody out there don't want to be solved. It's like when you want to solve what happened in the JFK assassination, or the RFK assassination, or anything close to that, like 9/11, for instance. Um, why are witnesses dying? The ones that saw the building come down. That's almost like the JFK assassination. People saw something. Okay, like somebody seen a gunshot from the grassy knoll, and they swear they seen the gunman on the grassy knoll. There's a puff of smoke. Then all of a sudden, there's a puff of smoke. Can it gets hit in the right side of the head? Oh, right above the eye. Goes back to the left, back and the left. But I've always liked to question things. I've always liked to question a lot of things. But also like to have a theory that could probably make you want to think. Make you really, really think. But when you want to have this theory of a particular conspiracy theories, there are top five, okay, top five that we know of in this world. 5 conspiracy theories we question, okay? The JFK assassination, Marilyn Monroe's death, 9/11, okay? Barack Obama's birth certificate, the Clinton body count, and there's some that goes on and on and on and on. Some have their favorites, the aliens, Roswell, Area 51, and all that type of stuff, and also there's videos I've seen on YouTube that had to do with numbers, phone numbers, and one of the numbers is a 10-digit zero number, 10 digits, all zeros, and that's also one of my favorites. Well, I could say that one's my favorite of all time. One of my personal favorites is the 10-digit zero number conspiracy. One of my favorites. And I always like to kind of wonder, think about what was the origin of the number. And is it a government number? Is it a haunted number? Is it a cursed number? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Um, like here a while back, I came across a video of RFK Jr., Robert Francis Kennedy Jr., the son of RFK, the nephew of JFK. Found his dad's killer, and the place where it happened in Los Angeles, in that little hotel, has now been demolished because it was demolished back in '89. Because I guess there was a lot of I guess someone said that there was going to be an opening to the investigation of the assassination. And they wanted it. They didn't want to open it in Los Angeles because who else died? Who else died in L.A.? Biggie. Who killed Biggie? Who killed Tupac? One died in Las Vegas. One died in Los Angeles. I've always been a big fan of Tupac. The guy is kind of a poetic revolutionary. Poetic. Very intelligent. And I've always felt like he didn't have to die. He really did not have to die. Um, Very talented guy, very well liked, very well known, highly educated. Um, Biggie Smalls, big guy, intelligent, smart guy, talented guy. Um, why he had to die is beyond anything. Like was there any collusion between Death Row and Bad Boy Records to have these guys very talented, very intelligent, gifted rappers, very poetic revolutionaries? Did they have to die? Also my question: besides bankers, besides astronomers, besides natural health doctors, why are rappers dying all of a sudden? You have very talented young men and women in the hip hop business, talented rappers, both men and women, talented rappers, all of a sudden get gunned down. Is that part of the business, or is there a vendetta against them for whatever reason that may be? Because if you look at 21 year old Extension, he was shot. by two fellow rappers in a robbery. The guy was this generation's Tupac. Compared to Tupac, very talented guy, going to be a dad. My question is this. Why do you gotta be jealous of someone who's on the rise and being one of the greatest of all time? Could the robbery be just a stage thing, just to shoot the rapper because somebody's jealous? Why are you jealous? You're doing the same thing. You're making music in the genre of rap and hip hop. Was somebody jealous of Tupac and Biggie? Because they're, I mean, like an ODB of the Wu-Tang of the Wu-Tang Clan. Very talented guy. Funny, very talented guy. Died. And why? Why did he have to die? Lisa Letta Lopes, who was part of TLC. Why did she have to die? It seems to me that record companies put a life insurance policy on their stars, on their clients. If somehow they mysteriously die, they get the money out of their deaths. See, because if you work at Walmart, I'm gonna give you a little heads up here. Just the kicker, and it's very fucked up anyway. They get that money back instead of going to your family. If you're a parent and raising a young family, that money can go towards your family, towards your kids and shit, you know. And I've always been very fascinated on the whole conspiracy theory. You know, one of my favorites, Roswell. Oh yeah, Roswell, 1947. 1947. Do I think there's aliens that crashed? Yeah, I think so. I think so. And there was a radio guy that, if you all remember, back in 65, the Kecksburg crash in Kecksburg, and there was this acorn-shaped craft that crashed, and all of a sudden the military came in, blocked off the area, squared it off. And a reporter that had a radio program, a news radio program, and really had the scoop on what it was. Then all of a sudden, someone from government came in and says, you need to really keep quiet on what you saw. If that was me, I would say, you know what, fuck you. I got a job to do. You need to go get away and get here and kiss my ass. But it's very insane, very insane how anybody, if you work in radio or in TV, in radio, your best shot is satellite radio or podcast, because if you work in radio, and here's the facts here. If you read an article that's really with a lot of shit, with a lot of weight to it, a lot of weight to the story, and there's been people that worked in radio have died. There's some that worked on TV that died because they were working on a story and they were getting to the scoop. Like this was like Confidential magazine level of holy shit. All about that. Confidential. Hollywood back in the day feared that magazine. They feared that paper. It wasn't a magazine. It was a paper. Okay, it was like the National Enquirer. Confidential was the foundation for the National Enquirer. Inquiry minds got to know. The National Enquirer got sued over the years so many fucking times, but it made so much money in sales that it could actually pay out in settlements and shit, though. But the thing is, the founder's son of the Confidential magazine wants the FBI to open up the files, man, because the people that are in those files are now dead. They're gone. They're dead. You know. But the one thing that the Enquirer is afraid of doing is that doing a story on J. Edgar Hoover to find out that J. Edgar Hoover was gay. But if you ask them about that, if you ask an FBI agent now, they will tell you to go fuck off. But do they know the truth about Hoover being gay and being in a closet all these years until he died? Every age is going to tell you it's not true. J. Edgar Hoover was straight as a whip, or straight as a fucking board, and he dated women. Really? He did his second in command. They were in any relationship and shit, you know. The mob had dirt on him too. They had dirt on Hoover. The mob wasn't stupid, dude. The mob wasn't stupid at all, man. You know, the mob wasn't really stupid at all because the mob had people that worked on the inside of the FBI, and they had dirt on Hoover since day fucking one. You know, and you wanna know why the feds are constantly after the mob? Okay. I'm gonna tell you this, why. You got these hardcore corporations that have ties to the government. And they don't like competition. So what happens? You send the U.S. government on the mob. The 5 families in New York, from New York, California, Chicago, Illinois, Louisiana, Florida, shit. The mob you have here is the Mexican mafia. Oh yeah, the Mexican mafia. But the 5 families in New York are all Italian descent. I've played The Godfather, the video game. I could say one of my favorite eras is during the Prohibition era, 1900 to about 1940, 45. During that time, the golden age was like around 1900 to the mid 30s, mid late 30s. That was the golden age of organized crime. You had Bugsy Siegel, you had Dutch Schultz, Legs Diamond, and you had Al Capone, Johnny Torrio, you had Lucky Luciano, and a lot of the guys that back in the day that I mean, you had gangs in Harlem, black gangs in Harlem, the black mob in Harlem. They ran Harlem like a well-oiled machine. You had mobs in Brooklyn, Bronx, Staten Island, Hell's Kitchen, Midtown, Little Italy, New Jersey. You had the Chicago outfit under Capone when he left New York for Chicago. I mean, he had some in New Orleans, in Texas, and down south. He got some here in California. Again, the Mexican Mafia and shit. He had, I mean, organized crime all over the country. And Tampa. Santo Tofani and son Santo Jr. They ran Tampa like the well-oiled machine and shit. But what really started to really get the mob attention was that meeting, and I think that was a big mistake. Going out, all the Godfathers and their families from all over the country going to that one place for a meeting. If that one person would have minded their own business, they wouldn't send in the state police and shit, But the mob had a lot of dirt on Hoover, and they were very powerful. But if you look at the mob now, I mean, if you seriously look at the mob now, it's not what it used to be back in the day. There was respect and loyalty, and now there is no respect and there is no loyalty. See, the thing is that they had the El Muerta. They had that that our thing. And Cosa Nostra, our thing, Italian. The mob in Sicily, they were targeted by Mussolini. They hated the mob because the mob to Mussolini was a threat to Mussolini's fascist power, and they wanted him dead. They wanted Mussolini dead. Mussolini was the Italian Hitler. Mussolini was a fascist motherfucker. Stalin was communist. Mussolini was fascist. And Hitler was a National Socialist. And when you have all three allies, well, two of the three allies, At the time, the three were allies until betrayal. Hitler betrayed Stalin, which was a big mistake. Stalin wanted Hitler dead. Stalin wanted Hitler dead because Hitler, even though he was a maniacal, just insane guy, that dude feared Stalin. Stalin was a stone cold. He had ice in his veins, and he was like a guy you didn't want to fuck with if you were Hitler or Mussolini. Hitler was an egomaniacal son of a bitch. Mussolini was an arrogant motherfucker. I mean, no bullshit. Those three were insanely fucking nuts, but not so bright. Hitler was a corporal in the German military during World War One. He wanted power. He would get it no matter how he got it. The Nazi Party was a political party. It went from a political party to a fucking military. Hitler suspended the Constitution, where there was no free speech, there was no freedom of religion, there was no freedom of anything. You swore your loyalty to one guy, not the country. One guy, one arrogant fuck. Now here in the United States, you have, oh man, you have people in D.C. swearing loyalty to the party, to your political party. Do you know that's from? Actions of Nazis. The Democratic Party. Loyal to the Democratic Party. If you're loyal to the bone, you are a fucking Nazi. I mean, if you put your party first over anything, you're a Nazi. Back in the day. And there's some left of that same bullshit that there's back in the 50s was a big old communist scare bullshit. You know, the McCarthyism and shit. You know. Now, political assassinations are one of the insane shit you would even hear or read or see about or read about. Now, Huey Newton. No. This guy, Dewey something like Dewey something like he was a guy that was had political power back in the 30s, 30s or 40s. Dewey Long. He had power. I mean, the guy was like 6'4", 260 pounds, big old fucker and shit. And the dude, he had a lot of influence, but he wasn't so bright upstairs. towards the end of his life, people started to turn their back on the guy because he really started to do some radical shit. And there's a lot of paid people that would do it just to get him out, get a person out of the way. So another individual will come in and be the chosen one politically, like Bill Clinton. He was the chosen one for the Democratic Party and shit, you know. Bush Jr. W. was also a chosen one. His dad picked him. And what happened there? Saddam died. A couple years later, Saddam died. 8 years later, Bin Laden died. That's what we're led to believe. But Bizarre Bhutto. She's either Palestinian or Libyan or Syrian or somewhere in the Middle East. Said on television around 2007, 2008 that Bin Laden died from kidney failure and shit because the guy was a tall, lanky guy, about 6'5", tall, lanky motherfucker, and his family had ties to the Bush family, and so he had a CIA named Tim Osmond. He was an asset. He was an asset, just like the ones we had over the years. We had Manuel Noriega throughout the 80s. We had Saddam Hussein through the 80s, 90s, the early 2000s until he died in 2003. It's what's called is tying off loose ends. But Noriega went to prison on false drug charges and shit. Because Bush Sr. felt like he wasn't doing what he was being told to do. So what happened was Bush Sr. sent in the military and kind of kept things hush-hush until a reporter blew the whistle on what our military was doing back then. 7,500 people of Panama, the poor side of Panama, men, women, children, even the elderly, all gunned down. Even the media got gunned down, local and international, even our own, were gunned down by our military and shit, because they want the story of what happened in Panama to be hush hush until one woman had the guts to go in and talk to people. The military tried to get her out, but the people surrounded her, protected her. After they told their story, 8 people, including a doctor, was gunned down and basically assassinated by our own military. This was all political bullshit. George H.W. Bush was a sitting president that is a war criminal. Bush Sr. is a war criminal. Clinton's a war criminal. Bush Jr. is a war criminal. Obama's a war criminal. LBJ is a war criminal. FDR is a war criminal for putting Japanese, German, anti-Americans in internment camps. He's a war criminal. Simple as that. Nixon was also a war criminal because look what happened to our PWs. 1,280 were left behind. That's right. 1,280 POWs are unaccounted for, or led to believe that they all died in the war. What happened? Some went to Russia. Some went to North Korea. But there was a photo that came out in the late 80s, early 90s that old guys. Tupper flew over Vietnam, looked down, saw could be PWs laying out a message. Nixon's a war criminal. So is John McCain, John Kerry. Now, conspiracy theories is very interesting. Okay, but I did say scary beyond anything you could ever think of. There's a guy that hosted on NBC. And this was during the 2004 election between John Kerry and George W. Bush. And he asked them both about Skull and Bones because John Kerry and George W. Bush and John Kerry were both members of Skull and Bones at Yale. And he asked about it, talked about it. All of a sudden, after those interviews, he died. Mysteriously, he died. But always the term of suicide when someone dies. You know, like Vince Foster. Oh, it's suicide. No, he was fucking murdered. Okay. Jeremy Renner did a movie, a true story movie about a reporter from the San Jose Mercury newspaper who went out and really did some work on the octopus, where it had the Iran-Contra. There was a connection between Iran-Contra and Mena, Arkansas. And this was a huge story because Bill Clinton ran Arkansas like a fucking the guy was a political mafia don in Arkansas. Attorney General and Governor. That dude was a political mafia don in Arkansas. And you even had the Dixie Mafia in Arkansas, Alabama, Missouri, Alabama, Louisiana, the Dixie organized crime. Um, I mean, you got so many conspiracy theories. Like, man, I tell you what, the one theory that really haunts people is the death of those two boys in Arkansas. Bodies were torn to pieces by by the trains. And the big shocker that really blew me away was here. I'm a big wrestling fan from back on the old time of old wrestling and shit. And a wrestler by the name of Billy Jack Haynes, big old guy, 6'4", 6'5", almost 300 pounds. Came out and said, like, what he said was like, man, you wouldn't. I mean, when I heard this, I was like, dude, the same Billy Jack Haynes that wrestled for the WWF back in the 80s, who had a rivalry with Hercules Hernandez. Both had the full Nelson as a finisher. And I was like, dude, he knew about those boys, Der Ives and the other guy, kid, both were teenagers and shit. Autopsy showed that they were beaten pretty bad until they died, and then they were put in these green body bags and then left them on the tracks, and then became torn to pieces and shit because of the train tracks, the wheels and shit, you know. Fuck. It just that you have to really look at it like this. Billy Jack Haynes confessed of being because he was the muscle. He was the muscle, and he was the kind of muscle that you didn't want to fuck with, because the good old boys from Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Missouri, you didn't want to fuck those guys, because they could kill you and put your body someplace where you wouldn't even be found. And because Bill and Hillary Clinton, they ran Arkansas. And if you were a state trooper in Arkansas, you're dead. You became dead once you associated with Bill and Hillary Clinton. You were already dead. You were a dead man walking, being associated with Bill and Hillary Clinton, because they had connections. They had not just political but also drug connections. If they wanted you dead, they will have you dead in no time. It just, the planning would be precisely bar none. So I mean, shit. You could count Bill Clinton's first victim from '69 down to a Rothschild that was dead. Hillary had a member of the Rothschild family murdered. Oh. If you were Hillary Clinton and you fucked with a member of the Rothschild family and had that person killed, seriously, you basically signed your death warrant. Because the Rothschilds and the Morgans and the Rockefellers have connections too. The families go back centuries. Hillary is small potatoes. Bill and Hillary are small potatoes compared to the Rothschilds, the Morgans, and the Rockefellers. Because if one of those families wanted Bill and Hillary dead, they would have done it a long time ago. Long time ago. Very long time ago. But I think she is definitely afraid of those families, because those are the 3 out of the 5 banking families, and if they want Bill and Hillary dead, they wouldn't waste time. I think that Hillary is scared shitless of the Rothschild family. I know, and for a fact, that she is scared shitless of the Rockefellers and the Morgan family. Because somebody with money can hire somebody to take Hillary out, and that's no bullshit. Because if you all remember at the what was it, the John McCain funeral or the George H.W. Bush funeral, Hillary found an envelope in a one of those hymn books and shit. A lot of people found those envelopes. I tell you what, those envelopes scared the shit out of the elite. Hillary was like, I tell you what, if they were indictments, I tell you what, somebody's going to get Mo. Because George H.W. Bush, he was executed. He didn't die natural. He was executed. He pled guilty. He got what was coming to him. Now, John McCain, same fucking thing. He was also executed. Now, there was a plane, beautiful green warplane, cargo plane, escorted by 4 awesome jets, headed to Gitmo. Do you ever wonder who's in the cargo hold and in chains going to Gitmo? And the question is, when was the last time you saw Bill or Hillary? I hope they're at Gitmo. I really do. See, Bill and Hillary, they don't know what's coming to them. And if the charges are there, they're both looking at the death penalty. See, you may not charge a sitting president, but you can charge a former president. Because they're fair game. They're fair game. Because old W. Jr., that dude is afraid of Trump. Oh, yeah. George W. Bush spilled everything. He spilled the beans on everything. And if you look at Laura Bush, and his WS brother, Jeb, oh, Bush family is falling apart. Oh, yeah. Alright, guys, I think I got going. I'm going to go get some coffee, maybe some cereal, and kind of chill out a little bit. Alright. I'm Grandmaster Evan. You guys just watched the Anonymous Liberty Media. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below, and do not forget to hit the bell for notification. And if you got this transmission, you are the resistance. I'm Grandmaster Evan. Knowledge is free. If you ain't down with that, we got 3 words for you. Go fuck yourself. Peace out. I'm Revan. You're not. Fuck you. I'm out.